Well, it's another mid-season for the Giants in 2025, and honestly, this team has struggled a lot to try to have a winning season. Let's take a look at the Giants' last 5 seasons. Obviously, they've been pretty average, right? They've obviously had that really good run in 2021, having 107 wins, which is an incredible season, losing to the Dodgers in the first round, of course. Besides for that season, they really have not been good since 2016, so it's been about 9 years of like terrible seasons, because the Giants try to be competitive every year. They always try to sign a new free agent every single season, and honestly, it just really hasn't helped them moving forward. You guys can clearly tell by the record as well, right? And them being third and sometimes fourth in their division is definitely not it. You might be able to see what I'm talking about with their contract situations. Let's take a look, because obviously they got some pretty big contracts, especially with the Rafael Devers trade they had in 2025. Obviously taking his massive contract on is definitely a lot, and he's almost getting paid $30 million in 2026, and he's still here for 6 more seasons as well. Pretty big financial commitment they have to Rafael Devers. And then obviously they signed Willy Adames in that 2025 offseason, obviously being a very good shortstop. He also got 6 years left on his deal as well. Matt Chapman once again signed that contract in 2025. He's got 5 more seasons with this Giants team. Robbie Ray signed his 5-year deal in 2022. He's on the last year of his deal, so maybe Robbie Ray could be a 1-year basis, because I think he's still a very good player. They still have Gun-Hoo Lee for 4 years when he signed that contract in 2024. Honestly, he's been a pretty average player, to be honest, for earning that much money, in my personal opinion. And then they got Logan Webb for 3 more seasons, definitely one of their best pitchers as well, and he'll be a free agent in that 2029 season. So those are the guys they had before this offseason. They obviously signed 4 more players. They obviously signed Adrian Hauser to a 2-year deal for $22 million, and he's got a team option in 28, so we'll see if that can get extended. They signed Tyler Malley to a 1-year deal at $10 million. They signed Jason Foley to a 1-year deal at $2 million, and they signed Sam Hedges to a 1-year, $1.4 million deal. So those are the 4 signings they made so far in this offseason. Basically, everyone else on this team is in arbitration as it stands right now. And if we take a look at how much money they have committed to the team, it's about $171.8 million, which is basically right around where I thought they would be, because if we take a look at what they spent last season, it was right at $200 million, putting them as the 14th team in the MLB on payroll. It's going to be a very similar situation in 2026 with the money they spend, especially if they go out and sign another player. They could definitely get, even closer to that 200 million mark, but they're probably going to stay right around there, probably 180 if I had to guess at the highest, or maybe 190 depending on the player. So that's kind of the Giants contract situation as it stands right now. Let's take a look at their roster coming into the 2026 season, because it's honestly a pretty solid one. So let's start with this rotation. Obviously Logan Webb and Robbie Ray, definitely the best 2 pitchers that they have in the rotation. We'll see how Hauser does with this rotation now, but those 2 are definitely going to be solid. Landon Rupp is also here as well. Pretty good pitcher. They got McDonald, Seymour. So it's going to be an interesting rotation to say the least in 2026. But definitely a solid 1-2 punch with Webb and Ray, 100%. Now let's take a look at their bullpen, because they got a lot of guys in this bullpen, I'm not going to lie. They obviously need new closers for 2026, trading Duvall, obviously, to the Yankees at the trade deadline. So they got Walker and Rodriguez filling those spots, it seems like, for the 2026 season. They obviously have a lot of guys in here, so we'll see how this bullpen pans out moving into the season. But definitely, I think could be some pretty good pitchers in here. Now let's take a look at the starting 9, because I feel like it's pretty straightforward who's going to start. Patrick Bailey is obviously going to be the starting catcher on this team. Rafael Devers is definitely going to play first base. Casey Schmidt is definitely going to play second base. Matt Chapman's obviously going to play third base, and then Willy Adames is going to play shortstop. And then taking a look at this outfield, left field is definitely going to be Ramos. Obviously center field going to be Gun-Hoo Lee, and then right field going to be Drew Gilbert, 100%. And then at the DH position, I would probably put Bryce there, honestly, because he's definitely one of their young rookie players, and I definitely think he deserves to start. So I'd probably have him at the DH position, or play him at first and have Devers DH, something like that. But that's kind of the starting 9 I'm seeing for this team. Once again, these teams go through so many lineups nowadays, so everything's subject to change. But definitely a pretty solid roster when you look at it on paper. Now let's take a look at the top 100 prospects. The Giants have 2 players in the top 100. Now coming at number 12 is going to be Bryce Eldridge. Now he was drafted by the San Francisco Giants in 2023 as their first round pick at number 16. Now he obviously got to play a little bit with this Giants team in 2025, but obviously we take a look at his minor league stats, definitely very solid. He played rookie ball, AA, and AAA. Obviously spending most of his time at the AAA level, batting around a 250. I do think it is interesting they called him up after seeing those AAA stats, to be honest, but in 2023 and 2024, he played definitely solid, and he just had a little bit of a down year if you look at his 2025 stats compared to his previous seasons in the minors. But I guess they decided it was the right time, and then he played 10 games with the Giants, batted a 107, so obviously not great. He did have 3 hits and 2 doubles, so that's definitely solid. He's definitely getting doubles the time he got on base, but nothing too crazy, and we're definitely have to see more of him in 2026 in spring training, maybe in the spring breakout. I definitely think that's a possibility. possibility. And once again, we'll kind of see how he develops. I definitely think he should be playing, obviously, with Rafael Devers there. One of them is going to have to DH if I had to guess. But definitely going to be a solid player, I think, once he finds his footing in the MLB. So coming at number 82 is going to be Joshua Gonzalez. Now, he was signed by the Giants in 2025, and he played his full season at rookie ball, and honestly played pretty well. 288, definitely a solid average at rookie ball. You know, he had 55 hits on that season. He had 10 doubles, 5 triples, 4 home runs, and 24 RBIs. And honestly, really not striking out that much. He only struck out 36 times. He had 37 walks, so definitely a pretty solid rate there. So he definitely could be a good player. He's obviously 18 years old, so he's got a lot of time to develop. His ETA is 2030, which I'm pretty sure is the farthest out we've ever seen. He's got a lot of time to develop in the minor leagues, so definitely going to be a long-term project. He's a shortstop, so he definitely could probably play a lot of positions, but definitely going to be a long-term piece, I think, for the Giants once Willy Adames is gone. So we'll definitely see what happens with him moving forward. But those are the 2 players the Giants have on their top 100. Definitely some solid pieces for sure. I'm definitely excited to see how Bryce is going to do at the major league level this year. But let's go over to my prediction for the 2026 Giants. And honestly, it's very hard to predict this team because they've just been so like mediocre the last couple of seasons that it's almost hard to not predict them there. Like, it's just so hard for me to put this team above the Padres, above the Diamondbacks, and those teams in their division, just because I think the Diamondbacks and Padres have made really good moves over this offseason with re-signing their guys and getting some good talent up in their pipeline. It's very hard for me to rank them well. Obviously, we'll see what happens with the Giants this year. You know, I think a lot of things need to work in their favor. They obviously could be in a postseason spot. That could definitely happen just because they've been right around that 500 mark all the time. And let's be honest, nowadays, you only need a couple more wins to really be in the postseason. I mean, in the NL, I think it was what, like 83, 84 wins, like something like that to get in. You know, they technically were in the fight, you could technically say, but, you know, in the end, obviously not making it. But I think they're going to be right around the same area. Maybe if they play their best, they could get in a postseason spot. I think if they play their best with no injuries and all that stuff happens, maybe they could get in a postseason spot. I'm just not confident in this team because they haven't shown me any signs of success on this team. When you look at the head-to-head between the NL West for the Giants, they only beat the Rockies, which is expected, and then everyone else they didn't really play the best on, and they had a losing record. So, you know, maybe they make the postseason if they have their best season. We just kind of got to wait to see with this Giants team. I think there's a lot of question marks I need answered for me to be fully confident in this team moving forward, but obviously that's going to happen during the season, so we definitely got to wait and see. But let me know your guys' thoughts on this San Francisco Giants in the comment section down below. Do you guys agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me hear your thoughts down there. And with that being said, make sure you guys follow me on all the socials. Links will be down below in the description. I'm on X for all of our updates. I'm on Instagram for all of our clips. You can check out the Discord if you want to talk to the community more. And definitely check out the merch. We got some new designs dropping in the new year, which I'm definitely excited about. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.